cut it. Go ahead.
Hey, it's the Zach Mills Podcast.
And you're watching the Governor's Comedy Club Podcast.
Let's go.
Tony, welcome to go.
Hey, Joe, how are you?
I gotta pat you down though, pal.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Got anything on you? Anything I should know?
I got nothing.
Anything weird going on? What? Alright, you go in, Tony. Good.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Tom Kelly of The Tom Kelly Show. Yes, this is not the only time I've gotten on my knees in the back room of a comedy club.
The Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show is also brought to you by Two Eagles Auto Body. For more than 25 years, Two Eagles Auto Body has been the leader in auto body repairs and customer satisfaction on Long Island. Two Eagles Auto Body handles every type of auto repair, from custom applications and restorations to repairs involving insurance claims. Give Two Eagles Auto Body a call and please ask for John Rossi at 516-328-2527. That's 516-328-2527.
Hey, how do you say there, people? It's Johnny Brennan, creator of the Jerky Boys, also of Fox TV's Family Guy fame. I just want to let you know you're listening to Tony on the Knockem Dead radio show. They're gonna keep knocking them dead, so keep listening, you wacky sons of bitch. Right there. Over and out there, sweet Charlie.
Long time no see, man. Hey, man, I miss you guys, man, at Knockem Dead Comedy Radio.
Hey, Tony, you're not funny, and you probably shit yourself a lot, and you're no fun to be with, and you don't make that much money, and you're not going anywhere in show business, and I hope you get hit by a bus.
gonna get my sticks. The mic is live and clear for you and all to hear. Knockem dead. Knockem dead. Comedy show.
Good morning, everybody. It is the Knockem Dead Comedy Show coming at you live from the legendary Governor's Comedy Club. What's the matter? I'm too loud for you?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
That's what happens when we didn't sound check.
Yeah. Well, we were messing with the keyboards there. Your keyboards are all right over there?
Yeah, it should be.
Welcome, everybody. Gov's Comedy Club Podcast is where you can find us on the YouTube channel, the Facebook page. No matter which page you're on, we appreciate you guys watching. We hope you're all well. If you're going to comment throughout the show, you want to say hi to Mark, say hi to Frank, and I'll introduce them to you in a second. But if you want to comment, request a song, or just take part in today's show, please do so on the YouTube feed. That is where we monitor the comments. Nothing's changed here. It's a new year, but nothing's changed here. So thanks for joining us. Happy New Year to you all. Thank you, Vicky, for chiming in earlier, and John. Wishing all the viewers a very happy, healthy New Year. As we're starting the new year on the right track, watching the Knockem Dead Comedy Show. Well, thank you very much. And GD is there. Happy annual resolution rituals, he says. All right, and GD, I know I owe you a phone call, pal, so I'll call you later today. And Mickey is watching from Tacoma, Washington State, he says. Very nice. Okay, so please, no matter where you're watching the show from, please share it on all your socials. Tell everybody you know about all the great shows here on Gov's Comedy Club Podcast, including this one, the Knockem Dead Comedy Show. Frank is here. And Mark Bonder is our guest today, ladies and gentlemen. Mark is here. Now, what was happening? You were
Headset volume's really loud.
Still?
Yeah. Just cranking. And I don't. There's me. Okay.
It's you. And it's still.
The volume is just the volume of the headset's really loud.
Yeah, which I don't really get. Joe Lopez says, "Hey, Mark."
Oh, cool.
That's one of your friends, I guess.
He pronounces it Lopes.
Oh, sorry, Joe.
Yeah.
Sorry, Joe Lopes. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
All right, now Mark is. So I have everything set up here. Oh, I don't need that. Okay, the keyboard's plugged. Okay, just want to make sure I'm good here. Mark Bonder is here. Mark, the last time you were here, I believe, was for Joe DeJesus' show. Was that it?
No, I was actually. I think it was Georgia Rose.
Oh, that's what you did here.
Yeah, completely other topic.
Oh, yeah. Which I was gonna. Actually, that's part of my. What am I hitting down here? Is that your coat? What am I hitting? Why is your coat on the floor?
Frank, did you bring your laundry again?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah, what? Why is your coat on the floor?
Because I didn't want to be having like.
Throw it on the chair with it. It's gonna get all dirty over. I think I stepped on it 3 times already.
I gotta say, Frank, who told you? Don't let go of the coat.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Oh, that was terrible.
As Tommy Williams would say, "You're welcome."
Yeah, right.
That's. Thankfully, a lot of our viewers probably didn't even get that one. That's a reference to a very obscure Who song.
Yeah.
Wow. But I'm impressed that you pulled that one out, though.
It was one of those ones. Actually, it was on MTV back in the day.
Oh,
sure. That's where I heard it.
When there were when they needed content.
Right. That's funny.
So Mark Bonder's here. So first things first, Happy New Year to everybody. Hope everybody had a good New Year and a good holiday season. This is our first show back in almost a week. And we'll talk more tomorrow about the holidays and stuff, but today we have a guest. So we're going to stick to that. But speaking of holidays and great days, happy birthday.
Oh, thanks.
It
was Sunday.
Just this past Sunday. Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, how'd you celebrate?
Well, I woke up.
Oh, well, that's a good start.
Yeah. No, I spent time with a good friend and then met with some others later. And,
very nice.
Yeah.
Good. Does your birthday ever get lost amidst the holidays, or?
That's the general thing.
Yeah.
It's like.
So you're mad at your parents?
Not at all.
It's a therapy session.
No, I was late.
Oh, you were late, so it's your fault.
There's something. I mean, I was born late, like 3 weeks late. I was born late, and I've been late ever since.
Well, you weren't late today.
Yeah.
Which is great. And you got the whole setup here, which is cool. So you're going to be playing some tunes.
Yeah. But as for the birthday,
Yeah.
it usually winds up like it becomes my New Year celebration.
Oh, okay.
You know, so and it seems to me just like really arbitrary that, you know, January 31st. January 1st rather December 1st, 31st. It's just it's not connected to anything in nature, right? It's not the solstice. It's not, you know.
Yeah.
It's not like spring is coming, and it's just like boom, right there in the middle of winter, and Happy New Year.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, boom. Okay.
Well, now what?
Yeah.
I've always found it interesting that the whole world can agree on a calendar, but they can't agree on anything else.
Yeah.
Like I always you figured Iraq or somebody be like, no, we're doing our own year. I don't know.
Well, I think around the Persian New Year, I believe, is in March. I think
Actually, I think you're right about that. Yeah, there are certain cultures that do have different New Years, but they still, but even then, anybody you still, you know, like you talk about a particular date and they'll say, you know, February 10th, or you know what I mean, like everybody still goes by that.
More or less.
For the most part.
Western culture, certainly.
Yes. All right, so very nice. You had a good birthday. And I don't want to forget, and I'll try my best to remember throughout the whole show, because you have something going on tomorrow night, which I'm assuming you'd like to plug.
Oh, well,
yes?
Sure. Well, yeah, I have things going on tomorrow night. I have something going on Saturday night.
Well, yeah, you're Mark Bonder. You always have stuff going on.
One thing or another, yeah. Yeah, so because I play music with several different bands.
Mm-hmm.
And this month alone, I'm playing with 3 of them.
Okay.
So I have Wonder Stories, which is the one I play with most frequently.
Right.
I have a Steely Dan tribute band.
FM.
No static at all. And that's we'll be at the Warehouse on Thursday the 16th, January 16th.
Nice.
And I have a Little Feat tribute band called Sailing Shoes.
Oh, okay.
And we're playing up at Daryl's house. It'll be my first time up there.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Our first time up there with the band, and that'll be the Wednesday right before that, the 15th.
Did we have somebody else from that
That's
band?
Mark and Naomi.
Oh, you did?
Oh, okay. They were.
Yeah, they were in that.
Same band.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
We're like the 3 singers in that band.
Oh, that's great.
And and Naomi I know forever. I know her since junior high school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So did you tell her, hey, that guy, you know, her husband's also Mark, right?
Yes. Yeah, Mark Newman.
Did you? That guy is creepy. Don't.
No,
I'm kidding.
no.
I'm totally kidding.
So I know Mark about 30 years.
Oh, wow.
Mark, I used to run a jam on Union Turnpike in Queens, right near Main Street. The place was called the Galloping Green. And for about 3 years, I ran a Sunday night jam there.
Nice.
And that's where I met Mark. He showed up there with his son, who was pretty young at the time. And, I always thought he was great and got to know him over the years. And then they got together, I don't know, probably 20 years ago.
Right, yeah.
Long time.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
Great guitar playing. She's a really good singer.
Oh, yeah.
But tomorrow you have the 5 rhythms.
Yeah.
Explain 5 rhythms.
5 rhythms is a moving meditation practice based in dance. And I've been in this practice for over 24 years.
Okay.
And it was the most unexpected thing. Like if you had told me when I was in my 20s, hey, you're going to be teaching movement, I'd be like, dance, movement, what are you even talking about?
Yeah, right.
But essentially, I mean, there's so many different ways to approach it. It's a movement practice, an embodiment practice. It's a way of looking at the world through the lenses of these rhythms. And it's not like musician rhythms, like dotted quarter, eighth note, etc., like that.
Okay.
It's they're more like rhythm descriptors or general rhythms. Like the first rhythm is flowing, being fluid. Like continual grounded motion is flowing, right? The second rhythm is staccato, which is more starting and stopping. So you can see those two, they're kind of opposites.
Right.
Right? So flowing is receptive, you're gathering. Staccato is more putting things out. Setting boundaries, connecting, direct. And we do this in movement. generally to music, not always, but generally to music.
So not necessarily dance. I mean, you said dance, but when
Yeah.
you say movement, there is a difference, right? Or no?
Yeah, well, dance, I think people have a stigma about dance. People say, oh, I don't dance, which probably they mean to say, I can't follow steps.
Right. Or have no rhythm or something. Yeah.
And this, it doesn't matter. What you're looking for is to find your own body's expression of this.
Okay.
Like, how does your body move? How do you receive in movement? Because you can, one of the things I like to say is, and this is backed up in quantum physics and all that, each cubic inch of space is just packed with like almost infinite energy. And as you move through the space, how much of that can you actually receive? How can you, and you can if you focus on that.
Sure.
And, and as for staccato and the other rhythms following, I'll tell the rhythms now. So there's flowing, there's staccato. Put those two together, and it becomes very chaotic.
Okay.
All right, and that's the let go. That's you basically.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So like flowing from your feet, you really build your foundation in the hips and staccato, and then you let go of the head and let yourself be uncontrolled without being out of control, but you let yourself be gently uncontrolled. And different movements will come up from the body. It's like you're not, like the head is not moving the body's not moving the head, right? And chaos could be like a shake, it could be like a drunk walk, it could be just flailing around, whatever it is, but you're letting go of some measure of control. And that things will spill out, things will arise and come up and out, and you wind up letting go of something, and you kind of get into this lightness area, this effortless space, which we call lyrical.
Okay.
Lyrical can be fluid, can be staccato, can be chaotic, but the hallmark of it is really it's effortless. We're really just letting ourselves be danced. And then eventually it expands, you expand the breath, and you get into this feeling of stillness in motion, because you've emptied yourself out so much. And so the idea of stillness in motion is the fifth rhythm. So it's flowing, staccato, chaos, lyrical, stillness.
Okay.
And when you go through them in that order, we call that a wave. It's like a transformative wave of energy. It'll take you someplace. It'll shift things. And you could do it with your hands. I can show you. Just follow me with it. Do it.
Oh, you're actually asking me to do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So just like move your hands in a fluid way.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Give it breath. Right. And then staccato. Just give it like a. Right? Yeah, I know. It looks stupid, right? All right, now
well, I look stupid all the time.
Now shake it up, 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 shake it up. Now lighten it up. Now lighten it up. Lighten it up. You feel that shift?
Yes.
Slow it down. All right.
Okay.
Now you got a buzz going on. There's a little tingle thing.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Right? Frank, you didn't do it.
I didn't do it. I'm sorry. Don't mind.
But anyway, so that, and we just did that within 20 seconds.
Right, yeah.
You do that over the course of an hour with your entire body.
You're working up a sweat.
Definitely working up a sweat. I mean, one of the subdivisions of the practice, we have these unguided classes, sometimes called sweat your prayers.
Oh.
They're basically lightly facilitated, and people just have their own dance. But Gabrielle Roth, who's the founder of that practice, would say, like, to sweat is to pray.
Oh.
So the more we sweat, and the deeper we be. Like
okay. So all right, and that's where I was going. So this is a spiritual thing.
Yeah. Or it can be totally like yoga. It can be totally physical for some people.
Exercise, right?
Yeah. But yoga, the word itself means union, mind, body, spirit. So
Yeah.
people say, is it like yoga? I said, well, in this context, in that it's union of mind, body, spirit.
Wow.
And then the cool thing about this is because it's a meditation in motion, now you can do it. You can be aware of your body anywhere. Like you can say, well, what do my legs feel like if I'm walking down the street?
Mm-hmm.
Am I able to be in my flow? Can I feel my directionality? If there's something chaotic, can I respond to that?
Okay.
So we practice these rhythms. It's because this is the way that energy moves, and as we allow our energy to move us, it's kind of like practicing getting out of the way of ourselves.
There's a lot to even kind of take in, and to understand and really kind of get it too, which I think could be half the battle. Am I making sense?
Half the battle's getting out of your head.
Yeah, I think that's what I was trying to say. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's really getting out of the head, getting into the body.
Yeah.
And once you're in here, there's like a lot of people just like retreat up into the head because we don't want to feel what's going on in the body. Because generally it's like we're hoarders.
Yeah. Yeah.
Energetic hoarders. Like, I don't want to deal with that, and it gets like put away in the body. And by the time we're in our 50s, like,
right.
One of the some friends go, everything hurts.
And that's true too, because there's a lot going on in there that you need to kind of throw out as you get older.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of adjacent things like just making sound.
Okay.
Making random sound. I mean, just like making strange sounds. I don't do this out in public too much, but in the comfort of my home, or in my car or whatever. Like if there's stuff going on, sometimes it needs to make a sound, and you got to let that stuff come through. Otherwise, it kind of builds up, and you get like this accretion of stiffness.
I make a lot of sounds, but I stink up the house usually.
Yeah.
So if I'm walking past your house, I might hear some weird sounds, and I'll call 911 or something.
You won't have to call 911.
Just joking.
Yeah.
Mario says, Happy New Year from Mario and Debbie. Hi, Mario and Debbie. Hope you're well. Ann is watching from California. She says, good morning, Tony, Frank, and Mark. Happy New Year, everyone. Yeah, same to you, Ann. Now, how does so for you, where like everything you're describing, not to take away, but it can be done whether there's music or not.
Absolutely.
So how do you?
Yeah.
So what do you do? Are you actually supplying like atmosphere, or are you?
Oh, totally.
Okay.
Yeah. I laptop off of my DJ. That's right. DJ off of my laptop. It's early in the morning, everybody.
You musicians, it's early for you guys. Yeah.
Oh my God! I was telling them this, like, I left my house in the 9s, and that never happens.
Oh, really? Where are you?
I'm in Brooklyn.
Oh, I didn't know you were.
I know that either.
Oh, you didn't know that either?
No.
Yeah.
Wow. So we really appreciate you coming down here today. Wow.
Yeah, I used to be in Great Neck, but I moved to Williamsburg about 5 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And the yeah, there's a lot going on. But like you mentioned some of the bands before, like you're everywhere. You are nonstop, which I'm sure again then all that movement must come in handy because you must be hard to keep track of. Learning all your parts, keeping track of your schedule. Like it must be very hectic for you.
Every now and then I do get a case of who am I this time?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I bet. How many bands? So yeah, you mentioned Little Feat. You mentioned Steely Dan. You mentioned Wondrous Stories,
right?
Which we have Kenny January 30th.
3 weeks. Yep.
Yeah, for his birthday.
Yeah,
that's cool. Now he's bringing who? Steve Holly and
Holly.
Sue too.
I believe Sue and Marie Claire are coming. Steve Holly's girlfriend.
Oh, okay, very nice.
Yeah, wonderful people.
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. Where is it? Oh, so. Do you still have the Stevie Wonder tribute too, or no?
Yeah, we don't play very frequently.
That's bad.
It's funny because it's great band.
Yeah.
And that band and also the Little Feat band have the issue of we don't really draw that much.
Really? The Stevie Wonder band doesn't draw much?
I mean, sometimes we do, and a lot of times we don't.
I'm shocked to hear that.
Huh.
Yeah,
me too.
It's kind of funny though.
Now that you got rid of Steve Bridie, maybe it'll increase.
That's funny. That's funny. He got rid of everything on Long Island.
I know, flat leaving son of a bitch.
Seriously, it's like, oh, by the way, I'm moving in 3 weeks. What?
Oh,
really? No,
wow.
it was pretty quick. I mean, so he was in that band. He was also in FM, the Steely Dan tribute band, and but he got us subs in both of those. We got Bob Gallo now in the Steely Dan tribute band, and he's been great. And and it's we do miss him. But so one of the things about the Stevie Wonder band, so Tommy Bowes is the lead singer.
Right.
Now Tommy, amazing singer. Played with Tower of Power, toured with Blood, Sweat and Tears.
Yeah.
He's great. And he's white. you know, and so we've been told by agents that we have a pigmentation problem.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my God.
I'm serious. I'm serious.
Wow.
And it was great because so there's one time Lee Finkelstein from Blues Brothers and Funk Philharmonic.
Yep.
He subbed with us, and so Tommy brings over a video of the band just so we can see what's going on, and Lee goes, "What? It's all white people. It's like Stevie Wonder bread."
Oh no.
That's fantastic. So, this is by choice, right? So you play a lot of KKK functions, and like this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Not going there. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's just that's how it was.
Yeah,
you know?
we actually we've had that here too. My Dancho, who partners with me in the studio here, we made a film together about 2 years ago here in the club. It was about a comedian, and we were throwing it out to festivals, and we didn't even think about it. But sure enough, some of the festivals were rejecting it, and we asked, why? What are we doing wrong? And that's what the first thing they said to us: that your whole cast is white. Again, we didn't even think about it. We just thought about certain people that we wanted in it, and just I don't see color, and I'm sure it's the same. To me, there's a lot of the comedy world and the musician world. It's a very similar life. It's all just entertainment in my book, and you don't really see colors. You just this guy's available. I want to work with this guy. I want to play with this guy. I want to perform with this guy.
Absolutely.
And then. Sometimes it's a black guy, sometimes it's a white girl. Like you just don't think about it, and then until somebody calls you out on it, you're like, "Oh shit!" Wow. And we've put together. Since then, we've made some films. They're not really sequels, but it's all going on in the same world as this film that we made 2 years ago. So, but now we're making. Not that we don't want to work with certain people, but now we're more conscious. Oh, let's get. And we look at the script. Okay, this one could be a girl. This one could be a black guy. But we're just more conscious of it now. Which, it's fine because again, these are people we would love to work with anyway. But does that change your thinking? Did you fire a sax player and bring in a black sax? Like,
not at
what
all.
do you So you don't even think about it still?
No. We do these bands because we love this stuff. We're not trying to get hired anywhere necessarily. We do it because we love it. Yes, we'd love to play. We'd love to be hired places.
Do your audiences have that complaint or a similar? Like, do you get if you're playing the Stevie Wonder band? Like, do you get a large 90% black people and they're all disappointed that it's all white people on stage? I'm gonna assume no, but
yeah, assume no because that's generally the audiences we play for are like older white people.
Really?
That's because that's like that's the home audience for like Wondrous Stories, and it's not a different audience that much for FM or for Sir Duke.
Okay.
It's much the same. It's as I started saying recently about Wondrous Stories, Wondrous Stories plays music of the 60s and 70s.
Right.
For people in their 60s and 70s.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. Oh, it's way true, and it's a great crowd, and they're so appreciative of the music. And now you start sometimes getting the younger generation in there as well.
Right.
But it's rare to see people of color.
Yeah. I'm shocked by that. And I'm going to say that I'm guessing that's partly also because Wondrous Stories, you guys have been around for such a long time at this point.
Sure.
And so when you play other bands, there must be some Wondrous Stories followers that are going because it's you.
Because I'm in both bands, yeah.
Right, or just any configuration of what's that the Time Machine? Is that Kenny's the other band?
AM/FM Time Machine.
Like if you're sitting in with them, like would people go because it's two guys from Wondrous Stories? Let's go see that.
Very possibly.
Yeah. Okay.
Very possibly. But yeah, no, there's definitely, and I don't always acknowledge it, but I really should because there are people that are fans of me in Wondrous Stories, and they'll go see me from Wonder Stories in another band just because of that association.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
You know?
especially here on the island. You guys, you guys and what was it like Mystic and the Touch? I mean, you guys are like,
long time stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, Wondrous has been around. Like this month, it'll be 31 years.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And you've been there original?
No. I met the guys in '95.
Okay.
So I met Kevin McCann first. He's guitar and bass in the band, and we were both going to a class at Queens College. And I met him there. We were sitting next to each other, and one day, another guy in that class I was playing in a band with, he says, "I'm going to go see Kevin's band tonight. You want to come?" I'm like, sure. They were playing at Blossoms in Bayside at the time. It's now a Sherwin-Williams, but it's it was Blossoms. It was on Bell Boulevard and 48th, I think. And they were playing every Thursday there. So like every Thursday, wherever I was coming from, that was on my way home.
Mm-hmm.
I was in Great Neck at the time.
Right.
And Chris Clark was the original keyboard player. And I would just sit there with my jaw on the on the floor, like, oh crap, because when I was seeing that band, it was almost all prog, and then they'd mess around with other things too. But coming in there, watching them play Yes and ELP and Genesis and and Chris, the way he plays, he's like, and his fingers are flying, and he's like, maybe making a grocery list. I don't know.
Right.
It looks like he's like, oh, this is lovely, and he's now playing with John Anderson of Yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So which is is the gig for him.
Yeah, sure.
We're just like, I've seen that configuration of the band a couple of times now, and he's so proud of him. Like, he's there doing the thing with the guy.
Right. Yep, sure.
But anyway, so Chris left the band left Wondrous in 05, and that's when they brought me in.
Okay.
So I've been hanging out with them for about 10 years and sitting in sometimes and subbing sometimes. And the cool thing about that band, like when they first called me, I said, well, I don't know all the prog. And Kenny's always like, don't worry, we'll do what you do.
Oh.
And that's just how it is.
Right.
It's like, and at this point, so we're kind of between drummers right now.
Right.
Because Ricky, who was not the original drummer, but the longest time drummer, he joined about 6 months into the existence of the band. He moved up to Poughkeepsie over the summer. And so now we're using a few different drummers. The last one that we used was Rich Stucker, who's fantastic. And this Saturday, we've got Dan Hickey with us. And Dan's a fine player. Play with a lot of great people.
Can you name every band you've ever played in?
No, they already had names.
Jeez. Oh my God!
He's quick. You asked.
Yeah, that's what I get for asking.
Every band I've ever played in, possibly.
Yeah.
And actually, no, probably not, because there are some it wound up being one-off projects or whatever. I get hired for this or that. Back in the '90s, that there's just no way I'm going to remember that.
Yeah, right.
There's just no way. There was some band I played a couple of New Year's or wedding kind of parties with, maybe two of them. It was an oldies band. I'm like, but I can say that the first band I ever played with, this is up in Syracuse, was called Abraxas.
Abraxas?
Yeah.
Like a Santana thing?
Well, no, it was named after the Santana album.
Right.
But it was all what we would now call classic rock, which back then was rock.
Yeah, right.
In the 80s. This is 87. So, I was 19 at the time. And it occurred to me, because my last birthday, most recent birthday, I'm now 3 times 19. So I've been playing music professionally for 2/3 of my life now.
Wow.
Nice. Although my first paying gig I was 15, but that's when I started out in the working world.
Nice.
Playing steadily with a band. So there was Abraxas, and also up in Syracuse, I got onto a band called the Paul Case Band. Paul Case is a singer, guitar player up there. Passed in the last year, unfortunately.
Oh, wow.
Then I was in an oldies band called Deja Vu up there. Anyway, I mean, I could go through all these different things, but you know, for the most part, especially lately, the last couple of decades, I get into a band and I stay in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Right.
So I've been with Wondrous for, like, this year it'll be 20 years, like in May or so, it'll be 20 years.
Wow.
I've been with FM this year in the spring. That band debuted in July, and that'll be 28 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Holy cow.
And Sir Duke, we started in 2013, 2012. It came out of another Stevie Wonder band that was already in existence. The Little Feat band, Sailing Shoes, started in 2012.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah, people say, hey, do you have any long-term relationships? I list my bands. You know,
Yeah, right. Yeah, really.
28 years with the Steely Dan band.
Do you still do the bitter end Monday nights?
Yeah. Yes, I've been doing that for about 5, coming on 6 years.
Yeah, with Richie.
Yeah, Jim Moran and Richie. Jim Moran's been in here a few times. Richie, nice to see Richie out and about.
Yeah, I saw that he
Finally.
was at the Long Island Music Rock. I don't know.
Whatever it's called.
I saw the acronym and it's like, okay.
Yeah,
right.
I can't pronounce that.
Long Island, isn't it just Long Island Music Hall of Fame?
I think it's Long Island Music and Entertainment Hall of Fame.
Oh, you're absolutely right
that's
about
it.
that.
Entertainment
Yes.
part, I keep forgetting.
Right.
Too.
Yeah. And I don't know whether he played or just showed up and received an award, but
I think he did. I don't think he played. I think received some award, but I think he did a Q&A also.
And
if
he
I'm not mistaken.
donated some stuff, I think, to it too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
yeah, well, it's good to see him out and about because he actually hasn't been on the Jam since last September. I mean, he had a health
Right.
issue.
September of 23.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So I played, and Tommy Bose is also on that Jam, and some other great players, and it's fun.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not making a whole lot of bank there, but it's like you never know what's coming up next.
Right.
And this girl I'm dating came to that, and she's been to other bands of mine. She's like, of the bands that you're in, I like this. Like,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of life to it. Because you never know what's coming up next.
Right.
And
You don't know who's jumping up.
don't know who's jumping up, and what song they're going to do, and so it's just completely in the moment. And I'm working with like when I play with Wondrous or FM, I have my setup, my sounds. And there, I'm just using a house keyboard, it's a Nord Electro 3. It's very limited.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, well, how can I do this with what I have here?
Yeah, right.
It makes one sound at a time. Like here, I'll layer sounds and do all kinds of things.
Right.
But so trying to make these arrangements with everybody else on stage, and really just in support of the singer that's up there.
Right.
Supporting what's going on, and it's great.
That actually leads me right into a question I had here. I mean, of course, you're a talented player, and I'm not questioning that. But do you get more work because you also do a lot of the programming? Like you just quickly mentioned it. Limited keyboard, you couldn't put anything on top of it. But that's on top of your playing. You're known for kind of doing all the programming and whatnot. Am I correct?
I think people know me for the sounds that I bring.
Yeah.
It's always been that way. Even when I was first playing with Abraxas, one of the guitar players was like, man, you always have the best sounds. And
but that's bigger. I mean, and I'm trying to spotlight that because that's kind of a big deal, right? That when it comes to playing in bands, I'm not trying to say, not trying to minimize what anybody's doing, but you have plenty of keyboard players, but adding what we're talking about, that not everybody does that, right?
No, it's true. Not everybody does that, and certainly not to the level that we do with Wondrous. Because I mean, there are certain situations where, like, we'll do entire orchestral arrangements sometimes.
Right.
Like, Kenny loves to sing "Nights in White Satin," and so a bunch of years ago, we were going to be doing that at Westbury Music Fair. Every now and then we played there opening for Zebra.
Nice.
Which is wonderful. Fun stage to play on.
Yeah.
And so for that show, and we've been doing it ever since. This was in 2013. Nights in White Satin, full orchestra, and I transcribed that. Wrote down every note, every instrument,
right,
and arranged it between me and Tommy Williams to play on 2 keyboards. And man, we just get all the sounds, and when it's on, you close your eyes and it's the record. And
right.
It's just nuts.
And again, that's why I was asking, because again, that's not easy to do. I remember, I don't remember who it was, but somebody was looking for a keyboard player. I don't remember who it was, and I remember asking you, because you play everything, and I remember asking you about it, and you said, well, you said you couldn't because you don't do that part of it. You don't do all the different sounds and whatnot, and it just seems to me like almost every band on Long Island has either you or Mike Jewell in it. But for that reason.
Yeah.
Because you guys take it up a notch.
Or Andrew Lubman.
Well, yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then Del Judas has Carmine, who does that as well.
Sure, and Carmine's great. Yeah.
But that's it. Like, it just seems like, because you guys get those sounds, which again, that's so much. There's a lot of, for a guy who knows nothing about playing an instrument, is that a lot of computer work to get those sounds? Is it like, where does that come from?
It depends on the sounds, right?
Okay.
But where does it come from? It comes from years of getting to know synthesizers and organs and horns and all these different things.
Sure.
And it's and knowing the dynamics of them. Like I could play like a bass. This is just a basic horn sound, right?
Okay.
Lovely. Right. So I brought it so far down before, so it wouldn't. So a lot of players just play like, right? But I would play like,
Right.
Now I got a pedal down here that I'm doing dynamics with.
Oh, okay.
Right. And so, knowing the dynamics of a particular instrument, or like if I were to do like organ, like, organs breathe. That's
right.
The pedal for.
Yeah.
But so many people just like, call up an organ sound and do.
Right.
And there's no life to it because it's just one volume level.
Right. And again, that's what separates, the man from the boys.
And I've been getting into like some really freaking great sounds. Let's see if this one. Hang on a second.
So you're still discovering new stuff yourself.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
So I brought this.
Yeah, we were talking about that quickly before we went on the air.
Yeah.
It's a breath controller?
It's a breath controller, right. So I have this tenor sax sound, which if I were to play it with no dynamics at all,
okay,
it's like.
That's amazing.
But wait. Hang on.
Oh, wow. Like you said, you close your eyes, you think that's the real thing.
Right.
Now, even musicians like you're fooled? Or like if you were closing your eyes, would you think that's a real sax or no?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
You would, yeah, because that's what it sounds like to me. Yeah.
One of your best examples of sound control is "Funeral for a Friend." The layers you have to put on that.
Oh yeah, and I'm switching through sounds.
Yeah, as he's playing, he's switching through sounds in "Funeral for a Friend" from Elton John.
Which, again, that sounds like I would be totally confused hitting the wrong buttons. I mean, I do that here all the time. I'm hitting the wrong things. Like.
And I hit wrong buttons every now and then.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
that's not the right sound.
But you're playing the song and hitting button. Like, to me, I'm just like, I stop talking sometimes, and I'll even tell them, wait a minute, I screwed something up, I got to fix it. But you're playing in the middle of a song, and it's
and adjusting things, and
right.
And my keyboard has all these knobs and sliders on it, and and a lot of times. When I'm playing, like a friend of mine, he lives in Georgia now, but we used to play dueling pianos together. I know him since we're 5.
Wow!
Right, our parents were friends, and but he's also a keyboard player, and he follows me virtually, watches videos, and he says, dude, are you having a good time doing this? Because what I'm very often doing is like, I'm really like just focusing. I'm in it.
Yeah.
And, people said, you should smile more while you're playing. Like, so I've been trying to, I have been trying to. And there are people that I think of, like, do you know Mark Mancini?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, right. The smilingest keyboard player I've ever seen. He's like, everything he's doing, he's just freaking loving it.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, but that's not rock and roll. Don't smile. That's Liberace. Don't smile. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Well,
I wish my brother George.
I was going to go there. Yeah.
That's Bugs Bunny.
Bugs Bunny took off on that. Yeah. God, Bugs Bunny took off on everything.
Yes. That episode where he's playing the piano is hilarious.
Oh, my God.
The concert pianist thing?
Yep.
Love that.
Yeah.
All right, so we are actually halfway through already, and we have not gotten songs.
I noticed that.
So, yeah, that's bad. Now, what did you bring? You brought your guitar?
My guitar.
So do you want to do something? Or?
Yeah, which would you like to do? I requested one thing. He requested one thing.
What did you request?
I requested the Vince Guaraldi.
Oh, yeah. So,
the Peanuts thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, but so like, this is. I'm hearing it's very crunchy.
Yeah,
Very crunchy.
I just picked it up myself.
Yeah, but it's also like if I bring the volume down here and you bring the volume up there.
Okay.
That'll do it. Let me bring it down here.
I'm bringing it up quite a bit.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Are we clean? Let's see. So, I don't think this is the one that Frank was thinking of, but
whatever one you want to do.
And it's also like, it's almost too late to play this because this one's called Christmas Time is Coming. It's like, while we're here, there's something that I arranged years ago,
Okay.
which has that feel. I don't know if you've ever heard this,
Okay.
but I made this reharmonization years ago. Again, same kind of feel.
Yeah.
It's just like a. Right?
That was cool. That was really cool.
I played that for when I was at Queens College. I studied with Roland Hanna, who was, known jazz piano. He played that for me. He goes, "That's what I'm talking about."
That's a compliment right there.
That's one of the best compliments I've ever gotten.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's great.
All right, let me see.
Another great compliment I got. This is similar, but and it goes back to what we were talking about before. I did a couple of gigs back in the '90s with Little Buster.
Nice.
Oh,
right,
Little Buster was great.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. So it was this afternoon gig. I don't remember when it was or what the occasion was, but it was this bar in Roosevelt, and me and the drummer were the only white people in the place.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and we played 2 sets. And in between, it's a nice day out, and went out in the back, and there were these 2 guys there, and one of them says, "Hey man, you play pretty good for a white guy." And the other guy says, "Yeah man, close your eyes, you get hard to tell the difference."
Oh,
and it's like, and I told my friend, he goes, "Man, that's one of the best compliments you can get."
Yeah, right?
That's true.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Wow. Let me read some comments. Kenny Friedberger's watching. Hello, Kenny. Joe Lope says Sir Duke is great. He said, yeah, that's how it starts. Then we love the new band and go. Oh, okay, right. So he's talking about seeing a band like Wonder Stories and then going to see the side projects.
Yeah, like AMFM.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right. John and Ann are flirting with each other. Tim Finnegan is watching.
Okay.
He says, others can do it. Mark is the best, and he's reliable. Oh, that's interesting. He will deliver the sounds that are needed and expected. It is a craft beyond playing. Joe Lope says Andrew Lubman is amazing, too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, do you guys, like you and Lubman and Jewel, do you guys, hate each other because you're trying to get the gigs? I'm kidding. I'm totally
No.
Totally joking.
We love each other because we cover for each other.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
It's like if I can't, like if I have because people say like, how do you play with all these different bands? Well, it's we have these things called calendars.
Yeah, right.
And if Kenny of Wonder Stories wants to book a show, and maybe I've got another thing going on. Now I've got to call. Usually I'll call Andrew,
right?
Or sometimes we'll call Chris Clark because he's been subbing with the band here and there, and it's great.
Yeah,
it's great to have him back. But you need to have good relationships.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Carol is watching. Hi, Carol. Vicky is there. Let's see. I thought I saw more. Maybe not. Okay. John Rusciello says, "Who needs Billy Joel when Mark is in the house?"
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except, like, if it weren't for Billy Joel, I wouldn't play the way I play.
Oh yeah, really?
Yeah. I grew up on that. I remember, and I was pretty young at the time. But I remember clearly when my mom brought home the Stranger album. That was a big deal.
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah.
And then eventually she bought me the book, and I was learning things out of it. But learning all those different piano riffs and things like that from Billy, it's that so informed my style. And then I listened to a lot of Chick Corea at the time. Not that I can play like him, but I love that sound. And then later on, Steve Winwood.
Yeah.
Now for me, Steve Winwood is like, he's my ultimate influence, both keyboard and voice.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I just,
Well, yeah, what a voice, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he's unfortunately, it happens to people. They get older.
Yep.
And maybe he was having an off night. We had a cancellation one Wednesday night over the summer, and so I last minute bought a ticket to go to the Garden because he was opening up
for the Doobies.
Yeah, he was opening for the Doobies, and I was there mainly for Stevie, and his voice was a little weak that day, which was like, because I'd seen him, I saw him at the Space a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Just, like he opens his mouth and the earth shakes,
Yeah.
And it's just wonderful. And so he was having a bit of a weak night. Maybe he had a cold that day. I don't know.
Could be, yeah.
But then, I wasn't thinking much about the Doobie Brothers. But obviously I stayed for that. And the whole night I was like, what was I thinking? Because that's an amazing band.
Oh, yeah.
And Michael McDonald's with them.
Right.
And so I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah.
This man is preaching every time he sings.
Oh, Michael McDonald, yeah.
Oh, my,
absolutely.
and even, simple song like What a Fool Believes.
Yep.
Check out the live videos because he's just like, you feel every bit of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
so he's becoming more of a vocal influence as well.
Go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
I was about to say, being that you have the Steely Dan connection, you have Michael McDonald you're talking about. Have you seen Yacht Rock?
That's a great. I like that film.
Yeah,
I like that film a lot. You know
we talked about it a few weeks ago.
Yeah. The one criticism that I had about that film is that it had to end.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm sitting there like, oh, I love this.
Yeah.
And because it's all the music that I grew up on and
right.
I still hate. I don't like that name though.
Oh, I never
Yacht
liked
Rock.
it. I don't like the name.
Yeah.
But I get where it came from. It was,
Yeah.
It came out of a spoof, and then it became this thing.
Right.
You know,
But lots of great music.
I actually did see that web series back
then. Yeah.
I don't know, maybe
20 years ago, give or take.
Yeah, I probably saw it 10 years ago. It started floating around Facebook.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Those because there were a couple of episodes between Steely Dan and the Eagles.
Right.
And you know, you listen to because there's a song "Everything You Did" by Steely Dan. That in the middle is like, "Turn up the Eagles,
Right.
the neighbors are listening," and you see like the guys playing Don Henley and Graham. What do they say? Oh, we're gonna get those guys.
Which is kind of true. I think that that did happen. I think Henley and Fry in interviews been like, screw them.
Oh, maybe, but and they shot something back with stab it with their steely knives. Right.
Oh, right.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I didn't get that connection. No.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Is there a Steely you can do on your own?
Oh yeah, there's a bunch. But the first one I would think of, like, where's my pedal? Is that too loud? Do I need to take it down? There.
Sounds good on my end.
Yeah, good.
I never seen you looking so bad, my funky one. You tell me that your superfine mind is come undone. Any major do with half a heart surely will tell you, my friend. Any amount of world that breaks apart calls together. I'm like, my voice is not working. My it's funny because like I'm coming up with like I feel like I'm buckwheat going okay. Yeah. Good. Like, why did the voice not work? Why did the wrong consonant come out? That's so weird.
Got a good ear. I don't know. I heard.
Let me try that again.
Okay.
I'm also a little bit dehydrated.
Okay.
I was telling these. I woke up with a cold today, so
sounded good though.
So I took a Sudafed, and now my voice is dry, and I'm get down.
Oh, that's funny.
My God, like, and I've never had that happen before like that. All right, so where was I? Maybe it should be a road sound. Let's try it. Nope, it's not. That's a rose with an organ. That's prettier.
Okay. There you go.
Although my expression pedal's doing weird things.
Oh.
Yeah, there we go. So. I never seen you looking so bad, my funky one. You tell me that your superfine mind is come undone. Any major do with half a heart surely will tell you, my friend. Any amount of world that breaks apart falls together again. When the demon is at your door, in the morning it won't be there no more. Any major do will tell you. Any major dude will tell ya. And have you ever seen a squawk's tears? Well, look at mine. The people on the streets have all seen better times. Any major dude with half a heart surely will tell you, my friend. Any amount of world that breaks apart falls together again. When the demon is at your door, in In the morning I won't be there no more. Any major dude will tell you. Any major dude will tell you. I can tell you all I know, the where to go, the what to do. You can try to run, but you can't hide from what's inside of you. Any major dude with half a heart surely will tell you, my friend. Any modern world that breaks apart falls together again. When the demon is at your door, in the morning it won't be there no more. Any major dude will tell you. Any major dude will tell you. Ooh, any major dude will tell you.
Nice. That was great.
And now my sustain pedal is freaking out on me.
Oh no!
Yeah, I got another one. I always travel with spares. You gotta have spares of everything.
You know exactly what you mean. Oh, things are always breaking down in here too.
Yeah.
Ann says that was beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
G.D. Fenderson wants to know: are there any non-musicians that have influenced your performance style?
Non-musicians that have influenced my. Oh, I wish I want more context there. My performance.
Well, I mean, again, as a non-musician, I kind of get it. Like I would watch Help, and I've joked about it on this show many times. I think you take away the Beatles' music from Help, I still think it's a great movie. I love it. The movie is so absurd and weird, and the humor is so off that I love it. So maybe that's what GD means, like from a comedic standpoint, because Frank's a musician, I'm the comedy guy, and I do think some of my comedic styling would be drawn from the Beatles. Press, interviews and stuff. They're always funny and goofy.
Oh, they were ridiculous. Yeah.
So maybe that's what he means. Maybe there's a non-performer that would kind of influence your style of singing or performing? I don't know. I'm thinking out loud here.
I don't know. Sure. I mean, there's people I'm thinking of are like George Carlin, who the thing about George Carlin is he tells the truth.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But all right. So going with that, was there anything Carlin would have done or said that influences your musical playing? I don't know. I'm trying here. I'm trying to figure out what the hell you're talking about.
Right.
All right. So playing Steely Dan, Asia. You always thought that's got to be, I think, one of the best songs ever by anybody. I love that song. Oh, what a great tune, man.
Yeah. and to be able to play that with a 12-piece band.
Yeah, right.
And, I'm standing there in the middle of it, just playing the electric piano part. Mm-hmm. Stu Yerman, the other keyboard player, is playing the piano. And the thing I love about that band is everybody plays their part. Everybody kind of stays in their lane.
Right.
Yeah.
And it all just works.
One is the same way like that, though, too.
Yeah.
You all know what you should be doing and don't get in the way of anything.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And there's other bands that or other players that I played with, they seem to have to cover everything, or they're just too present on the stage. And everybody in both of those bands is just like, I'm playing the music.
Right.
And there must be a little. It must be kind of proud, because if you're playing in a good Steely Dan band, those are some good players up there. At least that's how I see it. Yeah.
Absolutely have to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to be like really good and also understated, but also be able to tear it up.
Yeah, right.
When it's that time.
Yeah.
Right.
GD says the only Steely saying the only Steely Dan song he ever covered was Bodhisattva, but that's because you were a pole dancer, GD. Steely Dan has always had my heart, says Ann. Very nice.
Oh, totally.
Joe sampled the original electric piano, says Joe.
Well, it depends on the track.
I think, are we still talking about Bodhisattva, maybe? Did he play that?
There's no electric piano.
Oh, maybe Asia, maybe? I don't know.
Asia was, I believe it was Greg Fillingangs and Michael Lamardian.
Wow.
Oh, is that right? I guess I didn't read the liner notes.
Fillingangs on I'm pretty sure it's Fillingangs on the roads.
Yeah. He's touring with Gilmore right now.
Is he?
Is he really?
Yeah, he's in Dave Gilmore's band. Yeah.
No kidding. Yeah, that shows your versatility.
Yeah. He's playing with everybody.
I saw a stage video of him going through his setup when he was playing with Toto.
Right. Yes.
And he's played with Clapton. Played with
Michael Jackson.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a great video of him. I just watched it last week, actually, of him at some company's keyboard lab, and he's just trying out a keyboard, different sounds.
Oh, I know.
He's having a ball.
I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think that was for Keyscape.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I watched
a very
that.
funny video.
Yeah. It makes me want to buy Keyscape because the sounds are fantastic.
Yeah. Exactly.
I've tried so hard to get Denny Diaz, the original guitar player from Steely. I've tried so hard because he's a Hicksville guy.
Right.
Is he local?
Well, not anymore, but he grew up in Hicksville.
Okay.
But no, he's out in California now. But I know his wife.
I think Elliot Randall was a Long Island guy too.
Oh, was he? Oh, I didn't know that.
I think so. I'm not sure.
But I know Denny's wife, and I've begged her so much. It's like, can you? The best she ever did, she sent me an autograph. I just like to interview him. She said he hates doing interviews, so he won't do it. But
all right.
I've tried so hard. And then also before, was it Joe or whoever? Somebody said something about you being dependable too. Now that's something because I produce comedy shows. I have a comedy troupe, so I know what the feeling of having to maintain the calendar and making sure everybody's available. But there's a lot of babysitting involved in it, and I have no doubt in my mind it's the same thing with running a band.
I don't think we would have anybody in the band that we needed to babysit.
Oh, okay.
All
right.
I used to have a thing about like I would not come late, but I would come with the minimal amount of time that I needed to set up and do the show. It's funny. I remember showing up to a wedding gig one time, and my band leader said, "Oh, the man of the half hour."
Oh, wow.
Not the man of the hour, the man of the half hour.
Right.
And Susie, Kenny's wife, said, it's the late Mark Ponder.
Wow.
But I might show up late, but I never start late.
Right. Sure. Right.
I know how much time I need.
But I'm one of those that I'd rather be an hour early than 15 minutes late. So I get where they're coming from because then I'm always worried. Is this one here yet? And they're same thing. Somebody that might be late every single show, but I'm still. Are they here yet?
Yeah.
That just that comfort of knowing everybody's here.
Yeah. No, I get that, and I've adjusted in recent years. So like I'm the man of the hour now.
Right.
And that's a bit more comfortable, but like more than that, and I'm at the place like, well, what am I going to do now?
Right. Yes. Yeah.
So there's a part of me that wants to maximize my time doing stuff at home. Okay, now I've finished that. Now
totally
I can
makes sense. Yes.
Whereas I can't do any of that stuff when I'm at the venue.
Right.
One of the things I want to go back to about how the band is very reliable and knowing what part to play and all that. Well, I've seen you've seen it. One of the stories, once in a while, we'll do a show based on one album.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I've seen you guys do Tommy.
Sure.
Abbey Road, White Album.
We've never done the White Album.
You never did the White Album?
No, we did side one of the White Album on Saturday because it was like the anniversary of that album going to number one in '68.
Right.
But there's some stuff on that record that we have never touched.
Would you like to do Revolution 9 right now?
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. and to that point, I did see the Fab Four do that record, and they did that.
Oh yeah, I've seen video. I haven't seen.
And
it
it was like, oh my god, all the sounds.
Yeah.
They just did them live.
Fish did it once too, years ago.
Really, Fish did the White Album?
Yep.
Well, they'll do anything. Yeah.
Fish years ago, they used to do every Halloween. They would do a full album of somebody else.
I've heard this.
Yeah, and that was one of them. Yeah,
I haven't seen a full Fish show.
Yeah, me neither. I'm
Yeah.
not that interested.
It's funny. I saw them live once. They were opening up for Santana at
Oh,
the
wow.
beach. It was like 91 or 93 or something like that. It was
Yeah.
before they were really big. But I was like, oh, who are these guys? I've heard of these. You know.
Yeah, I don't. Somebody told me that once. Somebody that knew them said that Jones Beach is one of their favorite places to play. So yeah, they love playing there.
I've never played that stage, but I've seen lots of great shows there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Love that. It's too big now. I don't like.
You don't like the roof on top?
No. I like this. I liked it when it's intimate. And it was.
Well, listen, back in the 70s, I was going to see. They used to put Broadway productions on
Right.
the stage.
Yes.
Not to mention the Guy Lombardo thing,
Yep.
Yeah.
But, I saw Oklahoma there. I saw Finian's Rainbow, Showboat.
Nice.
Annie, Get Your Gun.
Yep.
And there was the canal between the stage and the seats, you know, and sometimes they put a little front part of the stage there, and those floating bridges. That's all gone. So, how far back do you want to go with?
Yeah, true. True.
It's funny actually. You mentioned that because in 2000 I went to see Neil Young there, and beautiful show. It was like Harvest Moon album was out.
Oh, great.
And actually, I think the album after that, Greenville or something like that.
Oh, Greendale. Yeah.
Yeah. And he comes in and goes, you guys put a hat on this place since the last time you were here.
Pete Townsend calls it his absolute favorite place in the world to play.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard him say that a few times, actually. Yeah, he loves it there. MeTube901 Gilbert says, I saw an incredible video of WS doing Jesus Christ Superstar. WS.
Wonder Stories.
Oh, jeez. Sorry. Wow.
You say Me Too 901 Gilbert?
MeTube901 Gilbert.
Oh. So that's my buddy Wayne that I was telling you about.
Okay.
That I know since I'm 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The dueling pianos.
Yeah.
That's cool.
We used to do
Very
dueling
nice.
pianos over at the Black Forest Brew House in Farmingdale.
Yeah.
Joe Lopes said he saw the Fab Four do the White Album.
Yeah.
And Ann Rothney says, FM, no static at all. Wore that song on my 8-track player in my Chevy Love Truck. Hey, now.
Hey.
You got any pictures of that, Ann?
Chevy Love Truck.
Chevy Love Truck. I love that.
Yeah. Is that a particular model? Or
That's why I'm asking for pictures.
Yeah.
I used to have and I used to have a Chevy van. We used to call it the Love Machine.
That's yeah. I had a thought, but I don't know if we can use foul language on here.
Of course.
We can?
Yes.
Yeah.
The more the merrier. Actually.
Yeah, no, I saw something. That said, my wife calls me a sex machine. Actually, she says I'm a fucking tool, but I know what she means.
Absolutely right. That's funny.
Great.
All right, we're hanging with Mark Bonder. We have about 15 minutes left. Don't forget, at 1 o'clock today, Sports Bash with Peter Schwartz, Phil Simms. Phil Simms is on the show today.
Phil Simms.
Phil Simms.
Wow.
He's not coming in. He'll be Zooming, but
say,
still pretty
that's
cool.
Like that. It goes that far back since I've seen the Giants game.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Well,
at the stadium.
Well, it was worth watching back then, too.
Yeah.
Nowadays, forget it. All right, big question for you right here. Talking about, playing and other people. And I know you get involved in things like the paper bag.
Yeah.
How much of a pain is Paul Esposito? Let's just talk about it.
He's not a pain at all.
Oh, come on now. You're saying that because you're on the air.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
No, he's not a pain. Actually, I mean, I like the guy. And
Paul's great.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
Do you take bets on when he's going to rip a hamstring or something when he tries to do his David Lee Roth kick?
He impresses the shit out of me, because I don't do that on stage. He's like, there are people that are in the bag. Like there's I think it's equal part musicians and hobbyists and things like that.
Yeah, right.
Paul's not a professional musician, but the stuff that he pulls off for not being trained really at all.
Yeah, right.
It's and there was a version of at the paper bag we did Jungle Land some years ago.
Nice.
And Lenny Lipinto on the sax solo, and it was just amazing.
Yeah.
And the kicks you're talking about is when he does Van Halen or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm watching like, dude, man, he's like, some people they just let it all happen.
Oh yeah. Yep. Good for him for doing
and
that.
me,
right?
I'm like, as you say, I'm more controlled. I'm getting things right.
Yeah.
And I started watching this documentary on Mick Jagger because I wish I could be out there and as physical and loose and
and in that
and
kind of shape
and that kind of shape at 80.
Yeah.
Wow. But just like holding a football stadium in the palm of his hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's something.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'll ever have that.
You know who he credits, Mick Jagger, for the energy and his movements on stage? Tina Turner. He says Tina taught him how to do that.
Really?
Yeah.
Was he around before her?
He was, but if you go back and watch, he wasn't moving around.
Okay.
Until later on, like when the Stones first came, like you watch Ed Sullivan show, he's just standing there singing.
Yep.
It wasn't until a few years later that he's jumping around and doing all those, almost kind of like maybe he's doing the tantric.
There, and mainly because I'm behind a keyboard all the time.
Yeah.
But I do go out every now and then because I'm behind a keyboard all the time. Like I'm shielded.
Yeah. Right.
So, but when I get out, and sometimes I'll get out in front and sing Led Zeppelin or something.
Yeah.
And even after all these years, I'm still getting used to it.
Mm-hmm. No, that makes sense.
I have nothing in front. There's no guitar,
Right.
and what do I do with this part of my body? How do I relate to this person here? Well, what do they want from me? No, it doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah, it's true. I've heard Sting say that if he's singing a song that he normally would play bass, but he's not at that moment, he's just singing. It throws him off because he's so used to his fingers doing certain things during a particular song. Lenny LaPinta, is that the guy that plays with David Clark?
Yes.
It is him. Yeah, I just saw them last week.
Yeah.
At Westbury.
At Westbury, yeah. I saw
Great
photos
show.
from that.
Great show. And they did a nice job. All right, let's get some more. Can we get more tunes?
Sure.
Did you want to do Eleanor or do you want to do something else?
I'm not. I think my patch is not working.
Okay.
There's every now and then virtual instruments do weird things, and no, it's not acting right.
Okay.
Not acting right. But and I worked it out and I practiced and and it's not working right.
It's okay.
You
mentioned Billy. Do you do Root Beer Rag?
I do parts of it. I mean that's one of the. So like I was saying, like when I was growing up, one of my favorite memories, because Billy Joel was really popular in the early '80s.
Oh, sure.
And I would sneak onto the auditorium stage at Great Neck North Senior High School, and they had a Steinway Grand there. They actually had two of them.
Oh wow!
But I would just play them.
Of course, it's Great Neck. They have two of them.
Right. But I haven't touched Root Beer Rag in a really long time. But that's not to say I couldn't do a part of it.
Okay.
Let me see. See how much I remember. All right, that's fine. Well, we'll stick with that for now.
That's great.
Now there are other very piano fun stuff like that reminds me of there's an ELP thing.
There you go.
Benny the Bouncer, which is so much fun. Let me see if I can.
Well, all the bands that we've mainly talked about, the bands that you're in, Little Feat, Stevie Wonder, Steely Dan, and Wondrous. You get to. We're talking about a lot of piano / keyboard heavy artists or / songs.
A lot of times, yeah.
Yeah, which I'm assuming that's nice for you too.
This is my bar piano. Anyway, sorry, I just had to do it. I was looking for that sound like. I don't know if you know that one.
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Yeah, it's ELP stuff.
Nice.
So you were.
I was just talking about, just must be nice because a lot of the songs and bands that you play, is a lot of keyboard heavy stuff. So that must be fun for you. You get to showcase especially Stevie Wonder, I would think too.
Yeah. Actually, So one of the things I like doing is doing things that you shouldn't actually be able to do. So, like for Stevie Wonder,
I'm a big album cuts guy, so I'm with you so far.
Yep.
And the whole Intervisions album, it's just a piece of gold.
yeah. Well, I'm going in a slightly different direction here.
Okay.
Because
but having said that, Part-Time Love is probably one of the worst songs ever, so don't play that.
okay. I wasn't gonna, but so one of my favorite things is like, so you know Superstition, right?
Yeah, baby.
Right. It has 2 clavinet parts.
Oh, see, again,
did you know that?
non-musician. I did
You
not
never
know
noticed.
that.
So everybody knows, like, yeah.
Right. Yeah. So good.
But there's another one that goes.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Had no idea.
So for Sir Duke, I actually worked it out, and I wrote them out to see where everything lines up, and so you can play them both at the same time. And there's one thing that I love doing sometimes, and I'm gonna pull this out. I have there's multi-tracks floating around for a whole lot of different songs.
Right.
And this is one of them. So I made a mix of that song without the keyboards, right?
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Right. So if you listen to it without the keyboards, you hear the bass, right?
Right.
Right. So that's what's happening there. Let me start it from the beginning.
Is that Stevie on drums?
It's Stevie on everything except for horns.
Even the bass?
Even that's the synth bass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one of the things that I won't play the whole song, but just to show you how this 2 parts go together.
Right. Okay.
Really cool. And if I stop, there's nothing going on.
Yeah, right.
Very superstitious. Let her not to fall. 13-month-old baby. Broke the looking glass.
Again.
7 years of bad love. You got things in your past.
And I could be home at that, like being in that sound and just being part of that.
Yeah.
You just kind of lose yourself in it.
Who was the girl? It was one of the very first times we started doing this on Thursdays. She had the pedals, that could.
Rory Kelly.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
It must
Loop
be
pedal.
Oh, looping? Yeah, I never got into looping.
But there must be that for keyboards too. Like if you wanted to play.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
sure,
I would
sure,
think
sure.
so. Right.
And that's something that's a part of Mainstage that I have not really explored.
Right. Okay.
Mainstage, by the way, is this is the app that I use to play live.
Okay.
It's related to Logic. It's a $30 program, and you get all these sounds.
Sure.
And it's really, for anybody that wants to try to get a really good sounding rig out of the laptop, you don't need much of a great keyboard. The cool thing about it is you can import all these other sounds, like the that virtual saxophone that I played earlier.
Right, sure.
Playing that within Mainstage.
Okay.
That's cool.
All right, we have 5 minutes left.
No kidding.
Yeah, it always, in my opinion, it flies right by. So real quick, all right, so give us some memorable gigs, like big people, names that we would know that jumped up and play with you guys, or
right. Well,
somebody told you to get lost, whatever. Memorable gigs.
No. So a memorable gig, I toured with the Hippie Fest tour. And we played at a bunch of different places, but there was one that my buddy Wayne was at in Florida. We played the Hard Rock they kind of have an arena there. It's like a smaller version of Madison Square Garden, that sort of thing. But it's a pretty big size place, thousands of people. And on that tour, I was lucky enough to play with Felix Cavalieri.
Oh, nice.
Rick Derringer.
Oh, wow.
Gary Wright.
Oh, cool.
Mark
Farner.
Mark Farner. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. And Dave Mason.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
Right.
Wow.
So, one of the highlights from that is, as the tour went on, we started mixing things up a bit. And so Dave Mason wrote "Feeling All Right."
Yeah.
Right. Did it with Traffic, and we did kind of like the Joe Cocker-ish version of it. And during that, Rick Derringer came out and jammed with Dave Mason. Dave Mason's a great guitar player.
Oh, yeah.
And so to be on stage, like, first off, I got a piano solo in that song, but then to be backing up behind those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, that's fantastic.
That's cool.
Yeah. And there was one time I was at a wedding and Bruce Springsteen was a guest.
Oh, wow.
So we played a song, a Chuck Berry song, with Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow. Has appeared on stage with,
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Wow. All right. I'm gonna. So I do this with all of our guests. I look at Facebook. I look at mutual friends. I'm gonna throw 4 or 5 names at you. You could say anything you want about them. You don't have to say anything you don't. If you don't want to, whatever comes to mind. Well, actually, we just mentioned him. David Clark.
David Clark, great player. I basically know him from the business, and he's every now and then he calls me to see if I can sub on like keyboard too. Hasn't worked out yet, but I would love to.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Dave's tremendous. Dennis Cashton.
Dennis Cashton, front of house over at Space. Yeah,
Great dude.
Great dude. Yeah.
James Raymond.
James Raymond, son of David Crosby. I
Yep.
met him. David Crosby played at the Space some years ago.
Yep.
And I'm friends with his guitar player, Jeff Pivar.
Oh, sure.
And so, I kind of got backstage. And
Nice.
And at the time, there was one tune they played, I don't know what it was, but James had this great soprano sax sound. And I was like, where did you get that sound? Anyway, we friended each other. We've talked a little bit. I think we might have just said hello that day. I talked with Crosby for a minute.
Nice.
And he's very...
very quiet.
Very quiet,
Yeah.
reserved.
Yeah.
And I had a brief exchange before he died. I met Jeff Beck very recently.
Oh, wow.
And he's the same way.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He's just kind of awkward with people.
See, that surprised me because he can be a little silly on stage sometimes.
I know.
So.
His stage persona is one thing. And, And,
wow. I met James Raymond years ago. Super, super nice man. And same thing, became Facebook friends. I was there at the Space, and I even, make sure you come say hi. And of course, I was hoping, I'll come say hi backstage, but that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Who's next? Oh, Steve Beery.
Steve Beery owns Mr. Beery's.
Mm-hmm.
Fun venue. I haven't been down there in years, but I used to go down there there was like a Thursday open mic there, and my friend Luana was bartending, and I would go down there after an FM gig or a Sir Duke gig at Farrell's, that was the place for a while.
Oh, yeah. Sure was. And he's a demented human being, Steve Beery.
I don't know him well enough to say.
Well, speaking of demented human beings, my last name, Liberty DeVito.
Oh, and I've done gigs with the Lords of 52nd Street. He's great to play with. I mean, I met him at the jam scene in New York years ago.
Yeah.
And I just love his sound. And I caught some flack years ago because I was on the Jim Brewer show.
Okay.
For some time. There was a guy, Jimmy Shaka, brought me in there to play because when Billy Joel was playing that long run at the Garden in 2004, and Billy was starting to come out and tour again, and my friend Chuck Berge was playing drums with him.
Yeah.
But he doesn't sound like Liberty.
No.
I mean, he's great, and his time
Absolutely.
and it's just different style.
Right.
But Liberty's just got a certain sound, like that like drums, they go blah blah, you
Yep.
know,
Yep.
and whereas, Chuck's are more like doo doo, and they're more melodic. I played with Chuck in a wedding band for about a year and a half. One of the best drummers I ever played
And
with.
a super nice man.
Seriously.
Yeah,
Seriously.
really.
Sweetheart.
Yeah.
Sweetheart of a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Liberty, yeah. I can see you catching flack. Liberty takes that shit personally.
No. I said I missed Liberty because I saw the show and I'm like,
I see what you're saying.
Because I loved Liberty's sound with Billy.
Sure.
I caught a lot of flack from, not from Chuck himself, but mutual friends.
Yeah, right.
How could you say that?
People get really weird with that
Yeah.
kind of, like, Chuck is great too. Like, they're both great. Like,
Yeah.
and then, but people get so territorial with that stuff, and I see it all the time too on Facebook. Mark Rivera, Richie Canada, like, no, they're both great. Who cares?
Totally different styles.
Right.
You can't even compare the two.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. It's time for us to go. But real quick, do you have originals or do you just? It's just
I do, and I had hoped to have. I'm in the process of writing now.
Oh,
sorry,
cool.
I'm sorry. I'm in the process of having writer's block right now.
Very nice.
I clipped a meme from Facebook. This guy's showing up. It's just a single. It was like a New Yorker cartoon.
Okay.
And a single frame cartoon, as they do there. And you see the van says "Writers Cleaning Service," and the guy's showing up the door, and he says the process is simple. You tell me to write something, and I clean your entire house to avoid getting started.
That's funny.
That's perfect.
That's great. All right. It is definitely time for us to go. Again, tomorrow night, 5 Rhythms. So what do? You play while the people are kind of...
I DJ. I hold
You
the space.
DJ.
I put on a piece of music that evokes a certain space, invites people into movement, and I'll play like 20 pieces of music throughout the class. It's a 2-hour class.
Okay.
And people are invited to find their own expression of what's going on.
Okay.
Like what's it like? What's it feel like to move your elbows or your shoulder?
Do you now what you're saying right now about moving your elbow and shoulder? Are you actually saying that to them, or
I got a microphone. I'm suggesting things. I'm not telling anybody what to do.
Okay.
Not telling anybody how to do it, but I'm just like, here, what's it like to move like this? Or
Okay.
what's it like if if you were moving your feet through the space and there was like this much water? How would your feet move in
Okay.
that way? Can you feel the sway? Can you
Right.
feel the swing of the knee as you move?
Sure.
Just bringing people's attentions. It's like a moving meditation.
Very nice.
motion.
And where is that tomorrow?
That's going to be at Absolute Yoga in Woodbury.
Okay.
So it's right off Jericho Turnpike, not too far from the 135.
And what is it? markbonder.org, is that right?
.com now. Yeah.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's the best way to keep up, or you want to give out your socials, whatever?
Well, if you're looking for the 5 Rhythm stuff, I have a bunch of different domain names. They all point to the same place. There's 5 Rhythms Long Island. There's dancewithmark.com.
Okay.
There's thatcrazydanceclass.com.
Okay.
I bought a lot of domain names.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's all on markbonder.com.
Cool.
Nice.
Very nice. Anything?
No.
No. Okay. All right. Real quick before we get out of here. Again, 1 o'clock this afternoon, Sports Bash with Peter Schwartz. So real quick, what do you got going on here at the club? Let's see. Jim DeLakis is playing the club this weekend. Chris Roach is playing this weekend. The Comedy Insurrection is on Saturday. Anthony Rodia's got some dates coming up at the brokerage. I think it's next week. Who's that? James Camacho is playing this weekend at McGuire's. And don't forget, did I get rid of the graphic? I must have. I don't see it. So don't forget, January 24th at McGuire's. Sorry, not McGuire's. The Giga Room. Come see the Fresh Brewed Comedy with GD and myself. Did I miss anybody? No, that's it. All right, go to govs.com. Make sure you make some reservations. There's some great comedy shows. There's a lot of great stuff coming up. Louis C.K., they announced some dates with him in February. So a lot of great stuff. Govs.com. Don't forget KnockemDeadComedy.com to find out what we got going on. And then today is Thursday. So, again, Sports Bash at 1 o'clock. And that is it for the day. Nick Greystone was supposed to be on tonight at 8, but he is just a little under the weather. So we're going to play the show he did last week with his daughter, and then he's going to come in next week instead. So, yeah, next week, the 9th, and then on the 23rd. That'll be your 2 shows with Nick Greystone this month. And that's it. And then tomorrow, of course, Coffee with the Dog at 9 a.m. I'll be back at 11. I don't have anybody scheduled just yet, but hopefully we'll fix that. If you want to come in, we'll talk about the holidays and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Joe Lopes, Happy New Year, all. Thanks, Tony, Frank, and especially Mark for a fun show. GD says you're really talented, Mark.
Thank you.
And I think that covers everything. So, okay. Yeah, we're good. Everybody enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Once again, Mark Bonder, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do this again. This was fun. And we get more music next time, too.
Yeah.
All right. We're out of here, everybody.